Hello, beautiful, gorgeous, fantastic people. My, aren't you looking just fabulous today? I know, it's been a while. Quite a long while, indeed. But unfortunately, I had been very sick with influenza A, then a mild bout of pneumonia, then I couldn't talk for several weeks because of all the coughing I did while I was sick, and it was just a whirlwind of unpleasantries. Even now, my voice isn't totally back to normal, but it's enough to where I can talk and make videos. But I'm sure you don't want to hear about me and my woes, so let me tell you about today's video instead. Because believe me, it's a doozy. In today's video, we are continuing our 100-day series, but we're not playing for 100 days, not 200 days, not even 500 days. Oh no. Those are rookie numbers. Today, we're playing for over 700 days, which is about 187 hours. Why do I do this to myself? I clearly love torture because what should have been broken up into probably 3 or 4 videos, I decided to do in one. And if you clicked on this video expecting to see pro Minecraft content, you'd be mistaken. But if you enjoy cute dog pictures and videos, then you've come to the right place. Wink, wink. But now, without further ado, let's get into the video. Now, I have something big planned. So big, in fact, that you might even call it mega. And I know that while technically we should probably, maybe, definitely be finishing the projects we've already started, I'm not gonna do that. Instead, we're gonna start on something brand new. Now, what in fact are we going to be starting? Oh my. I completely forgot about all this copper we have. Yeah, I'll just leave it for later. It's not my problem right now. Problem for future me. Oh my. Please, oh no. Okay. Oh, this is a problem for me right now though. So before I tell you what we're actually going to do today, I should probably take care of this.
20 minutes later.
Alright, that didn't take too long. And now back to what I was saying about our plans for today. I've officially updated our world to 1.21.4, which means we have the new biome, the Pale Garden, which also means we have new blocks to build with. But now we actually have to find the Pale Garden, which I've kind of traveled a lot around, and we might have to go pretty far out. Now, usually we kind of head in a general that way direction, so why don't we switch things up and head in a that way direction? Just keep flying, just keep flying. What do? We fly till we find a Pale Garden. Whoa! Jeez Louise, that was close. It's over there. It's in the distance. Ooh, I am so excited. I'm a little worried about the creaking. But yeah, should be more worried about spiders, I guess. Jeez. Or witches, my goodness. Oh, why is there so much other stuff trying to kill me? I would sleep, but I kind of need the creaking to come out, which only happens at night. Just go around, just get in there. So I need to find a creaking heart. Oh, hello. Okay. Right there. As well as so much other stuff. Okay, so apparently I need to like punch this guy a bunch and then that'll make resin form. Oh, hello. Sir, I just want the bone. Thank you. Now, the question is, how do I harvest? Oh, I just hit it. Okay. So this is exactly what we are here for. The resin clumps. It is quite easy to gather. It's just kind of a pain. And now there's a third one. Oh, joy. And I'm also realizing that I actually need the pale wood, but I forgot a shulker. So back home we go. Ooh, there's a shipwreck. Ooh, lovely. Now my inventory is quite full, So I think we might come back for this buried treasure when we come back with our shulker boxes. And we're back. Oh no. I just realized I forgot my hoe to collect moss. Oh no. Well, I guess I'll just get to harvesting these trees. All right, we have all the pale wood and pale moss we will need. Now to head on back home again. Ooh, you know what? I totally forgot we have a treasure map. Oh, okay. Maybe we could go do this. Okay, so a little trick I learned a few years back. If you want to find the buried treasure easily, line yourself up with the X and go backwards just until you see the white right there under the middle part of the X and dig down. And there you go. One dig straight down. Ooh, not a bad little haul there. Okay, so as I was flying home, I came across another shipwreck and another buried treasure. So we're gonna go find this one now. Okay, I will not get distracted this time. I will actually go home. So for our next project, as I said, we're going to be starting something brand new. You see this here? This little, tiny, minuscule farm. It is clearly not big enough. Which brings us to the next district we're going to be making, the farming district. And while yes, I know we haven't finished the factory district or the archive district, but I can't tell you how tired I am of running out of wheat when I need it, especially when I'm making mud. Now, where is this new district going to go? All the way back here. This entire area from there all the way over to there. This is going to be an absolute huge undertaking. As I said, from here all the way over here. That's a long distance and a lot of building. And of course, me being me, I'm gonna do it in one episode. I know, I'm insane. And speaking of insane, these are all of the things we have to build. And here's a list of all the materials we're going to need. It's so much. For reference, the mega build we finished behind me took about this many blocks. The farming district in its entirety will take about this many blocks. Subtracting the two, that's a difference of about this many blocks. A whole lot of blocks. It's going to be a lot of material gathering, to say the least. And I know material gathering could probably go a little quicker if my tools were netherite, but you know what? I don't want to deal with it. I hate the nether. It's annoying. It's terrible. I'm already stressed out. I don't need to add going to the nether on top of it. Although I'm now actually realizing I probably do need to go to the nether for some materials. Darn it! Now, something we are going to need quite a bit of is copper, iron, and a fuel source. So before we get started on our material gathering montage, how about a little fun, epic mining montage? Oh my goodness, that was so much to mine. And look at what we got. Now for the rest of this, I can't really say if it's enough yet because I have to smelt it all first. So let's just hope and pray and cross our fingers it's enough because I do not yearn for the mines. Now comes the extremely daunting task of collecting all the rest of the materials for our next mega build. Yes, I'm calling it a mega build, even though technically it's a lot of smaller buildings, but I'm building it all at once, so to me, it's mega. And because our material gathering montage might take a bit of time, because you saw how many materials we have to collect, why don't I make it a little bit more interesting by showing you videos and pictures of my two dogs, Angus and Malcolm. Oh my goodness gracious me. We've been collecting materials for well over 100 days now. And the thing is, I don't even think we have all the materials we're going to need. I guess we'll just see once we get to building. And speaking of which, all of these are totally full. And don't even get me started on all the terraforming we're gonna have to do. Oh, my poor shovels. Now, before we get started on the actual farming district, I want to finish this. Because I want a wall going around every district we're gonna make, we have to extend this. And I have actually put the materials we need for it right here. So now we're gonna get started on our first of many time lapses of the video. So let's get to building that wall. It is finally done. Well, not quite. You see, this is only for the archive and the factory district. The wall for our farming district here is going to be completely different, which means a whole lot more building and even more terraforming. I've kind of started a little bit over here and a little bit over there. Because this area is going to be for farmland, it's gonna need to be kind of flat, which it's not right now. It's quite lumpy and bumpy and not suitable for crops and farmland. And from the little bit of terraforming we just did, I've had to fix our shovel 4 different times. Now, how am I doing this without an XP farm? The hard way. The very, very hard way. I've had to travel so far out to different villages and collect a bunch of wheat and breed up all of our animals to get XP. As I said, the hard way. And even that doesn't fix it all the way. I'm sure I should be spending my time more wisely, like building an XP farm or something that I actually need, or moving our villagers into our archive so we can start trading, which will also be kind of like an XP farm, but instead, I decided to build something completely useless that I don't even need, all because it looks nice. Alright, so whether I like it or not, we've got to get started on this terraforming. I'm expecting this to take, well, quite a while, really. And even though I'm not looking forward to it, it is necessary to get to the part that I am looking forward to. So let's get into terraforming and building our farming district wall. Now, just a warning for you, these time lapses are going to take a while. A good long while. So make sure to grab some water, maybe a snack like some popcorn or candy, maybe even go to the restroom beforehand. I don't know, that's your choice. But as I said, we're starting off with our terraforming, and this took so incredibly long, all because I kept running out of grass. So throughout some points of the time lapse, like right here, you might see me digging up a bunch of grass and then covering it all up. And that's because, like I said, I kept running out and I needed so much to finish this project. I've done a lot of terraforming in my day, but nothing compares to the scale of this project. It might not look like much, but instead might look really easy and like it didn't take any time at all. But this was painful, excruciatingly painful, because it felt like it was never ending terraforming and grass collecting. And then we finally got around to building the farming district wall. I know it's kind of hard to see here because we have to be so zoomed out to see all the building going on. And while it's not as detailed as, say, our factory district wall, I think it still came out pretty good. Oh my goodness gracious me. You know, when we started our terraforming project here, I thought maybe it would take quite a few hours. At the most, I thought maybe 12, 13, maybe 14. Oh boy, was I wrong. You know, how about you take a guess? How long do you think it took us to complete all of this terraforming and wall building? Well, you're wrong. Unless you're actually right, in which that would be kind of amazing. But all this took us a whopping grand old total of 24 hours and 40-ish minutes. Oh boy. And the worst part is we haven't even begun our building yet. And speaking of building, I'm worried we don't have all the materials we're going to need here because it was kind of hard to calculate all of them. So if there ends up being a pause or a big day jump in the time lapses, it's because I needed to go gather more materials. Just letting you know now, just a heads up, it might happen. Knowing me, it will most definitely happen because I miscalculate on practically everything we build. But anyways, now in the entirety of our farming district here, there's going to be a few practical builds and a few kind of, well, useless builds that are just pretty and for looksies, you know. So we have a pumpkin melon farm, a sugarcane farm, a honey farm, and a cactus farm to build. I definitely think we should build the farms first, that way they can run while we're building all the other stuff. And I think we're gonna start with our sugarcane farm. As I've said many times, I'm starting to struggle to make rockets because, well, not because of our gunpowder, that's for sure, but because of our sugarcane supply. The little farm we have back at our starter base is, well, little. It's very small and it doesn't run very well, so we need something bigger and better. Also, I'm just now realizing that we've passed 1,000 days in this world. Wow, what an accomplishment. So before we get going on our time lapses, let's really quick recap what all we've built in these 1,000 days. We of course have our lovely starter tent here, which is kind of hard to see with all the stuff covering it and around it and moving on from it. And as I said, we have our little sugarcane farm, which I bet there's none in. Of course not. Our little enchanting cave over there, and our nether portal. And our cute little pond, which definitely probably no longer has any more fish in it. Our nice barn, as well as our dripstone farm and our creeper farm and our villager farm over there. And I always kind of forget about this because it's up in the sky, but our really cool hot air balloon, which is kind of hard to see with the clouds right now. And who can forget our mega build and our Christmas village. Wow, we really have built so much in these 1,000 days. I know 1,000 days can seem like a lot, and trust me, it is. And part of me thinks we could have built so much more in these days. But then again, I look at what we have built and accomplished, and I think, damn, that was a lot. Alright, we've reminisced enough. So my plan for our builds are to grab what I need from the chest here, put them in the shulker boxes, and then take them to the area in which we're going to be building in. Hopefully this goes good, or, well, I'll take okay at this point. We'll see. So now let's get started on our new and improved sugarcane farm. Now, our build here might not look like much compared to all the space left over, but it is a huge improvement over our last sugarcane farm. And this is a farm of my own design, so let's be honest, it probably doesn't work very well. And I've made it to where when the sugarcane gets pushed out by the piston and drops, a minecart, oh, there it is, will come around with a hopper and pick it up and dispense it into our chest here. Lord knows how many more builds we still have left to do, which includes our next build/farm, which I am actually going to follow a tutorial on because I've never actually made one of these before. A pumpkin and melon farm by Triloms? Triloms? I don't know how to pronounce it. I'll put it on screen now. You can tell me if I'm pronouncing it right. Trilom. But by that person. And our pumpkin and melon farm is done. So it's kind of hard to see, but here's the farm. There are 3 different layers of it going down, and there's where the minecart, oh, you just saw it, goes and picks up all the stuff that drops and brings it right up there to be dispensed into a hopper, which goes into our chest. Also, this bubble elevator here is for the 2 farms that are below the one we just saw. It was kind of hard to see in the time lapse, but I did some altering to the tutorial of this farm. The tutorial I watched was just for the farm itself, but all of the redstone involved with transporting the items up here into the chest was my own design, which again means it probably won't work very well, but I tried. So I made a redstone clock hooked up to a dispenser or a dropper, I can't remember, hooked up to the hopper system down there that will shoot any pumpkins and melons oh, one just fell in. Did you see that? Oh, there's another one. And it should be coming in right there. Look at that, it's working. So these 3 chests here are for the 2 farms down below, which is what this is all hooked up into. And this chest down here is only for the top farm that we just saw. And it's dark. Oh no. Ooh, that's quite a few stuff over there. Quite a few creepers. So we now have 2 out of 4 farms done for our area. All we have left is the cactus and honey farm. And I think I'm gonna do the honey farm first. Ooh, before that, I just realized I missed something on the build behind me. There we go. That looks better. Now back to our honey farm. This was definitely the easiest farm and build to make. I took inspiration from the honey farm we made back in Farmercraft to make this one. It's just pretty simple redstone. There's probably a much better way to do this that I just don't know of because I'm not a redstoner. We also have a little greenhouse kind of looking thing. I don't really know what to call this. I guess it's kind of a greenhouse that has some extra bees and flowers just for some decoration. And now we only have 1 farm left to make, a cactus farm, or really a green dye farm because we're going to be smelting the cactus into green dye, and also kind of an XP farm, I guess. You know what? It's just a lot of things. And we're going to head back over to our 2 first farms, and right over here is where we're going to be placing our final farm. And finally, we have our cactus farm. I also think it's already starting to work. We're getting some green dye. It's very hard to see, but there are 3 layers to this cactus farm, which all fall down into some water, which bring them up this bubble elevator here and over to our furnaces. And with that, we have finished all of our farms for this area. But now comes the time for all the rest of the building and decorating. And oh boy, is it a lot. So I guess we better get started. So here are some of the buildings that I was talking about earlier where they just look nice but they have no purpose. Like this chicken coop here and this barn. Next we're getting started on a giant greenhouse. If you can't tell, I decided to go for a color palette with this area, so more so reds, oranges, and yellows. And here's another area that's more so just for look-sees. We're making a nice little pond, a water wheel house, and just another house. It's just a house. Nothing spectacular. Now comes the big part where we add all the paths and trees and windmills all along the area. Because this is our farming district, I wanted windmills. Not just 1 or 2, but enough to fill the area and make it look like they're not all the same. In total, I ended up making 4 different types of windmills in all different shapes and sizes, and they just look so great all strung around the area. You also might notice along the paths we're making outlines for different crop fields. Most of which will be filled in with regular seeds or whatnot that you'll see later, but some of them are hand-decorated and designed crop fields. Like this one you're seeing on the right here, this berry field next to our greenhouse. I just thought that they looked really nice in breaking up all the different fields because otherwise it would all look the same and kind of boring. And I think adding these other handmade fields in really is going to break up all of the other crop fields that we're going to be putting in, not only by adding some color, but also some texture too. If I'm remembering correctly, the decorated fields we added were carrot, potato, sweet berry, melon, and pumpkin. And right here, you can see what I'm talking about, the difference between the handmade pumpkin field on the top versus the other seeded fields below them. And when I said terraforming took a long time, this made me rethink that statement. Having to hoe the ground and plant these seeds one by one was the most tedious and time-consuming thing I have ever done in Minecraft in my life. Not only that, but I kept having to go back to fields we'd already planted, harvest those seeds because I kept running out and didn't have enough for the rest of the fields we were making, which ended up adding quite a few days extra onto these time lapses. I mean, really though, you look at this and there's no way I would have ever had enough seeds, potatoes, carrots, etc. to fill all of these fields in one go. It would not have been possible. It's kind of hard to see from this high up in the time lapses, but I tried to add different types of decorations in the fields, all in an attempt to just break up the fields and make it all look nicer. Oh my gracious good heavens, did that take an eternity. But at least now, it's finally done. Granted, I don't think our last two fields have fully grown in yet, but I'm not waiting any longer. You know, looking at this done now, it might not seem like we've done too much, but obviously we've done a crap ton of work. Ooh, you know, I haven't been checking our farms ever since we started building. The Sugarcane Farm is the only one I've been kind of checking on because I've been grabbing sugarcane to make more rockets. But let's see. Ooh, look at all that. That is so much better than our last awful, terrible, no good sugarcane farm. And how's our cactus farm doing? Ooh, look at all that. You know, if I were to break these furnaces, they would probably give me quite a bit of XP. I don't need any right now though. Just let them keep collecting. Okay, how is our honey farm doing? I'm expecting quite a bit of honeycomb in here. Oh my goodness. Oh my. That is a lot. I'd say we're set on honeycomb for a while. The only thing about this, every time a bee comes out of the hives, the farm gets activated and pushes out these bottles here, even if there's nothing to fill them up with. Like here, we have empty glass bottles. I don't know if that's supposed to happen or if I just did something wrong with the farm. If someone could please let me know, I would greatly appreciate it. And lastly, our pumpkin and melon farm. See if we have any more in here. Okay, so quite a bit more. So actually, when I was cleaning up from our build, I checked on our pumpkin and melon farm already. And we ended up with quite a few pumpkins and melons. So many, in fact, that our farm was overflowing. But you know something we've never done on this series? A nighttime shader. Won't that look nice? Also, I just remembered that I finished mapping out our entire area. And might I say, it is looking beautiful. You know, seeing this on a map now, it's quite spectacular because I thought our mega build was big and took a long time to make, but what we've accomplished this episode is like 5 times the size. And you might notice that obviously I have changed the look of our map area. Our maps were up here where the glass was, but I found it hard to kind of see the full area. So I moved it down a few blocks and put the glass on top so we can see the full area in all of its magnificent glory. And I know it seems like in each episode we keep going bigger and bigger and building more extravagant builds. And at this point, I don't know how I'm going to top this. And what's happening? Okay, I guess we're up here now. But as I was saying, I don't know how we're going to top this episode because this was insane. But regardless, I am just so happy with how everything came out, and I hope you guys are too. So unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. Not like we didn't build over 100 hours worth of stuff or anything. But please leave a like and comment if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe if you're new, of course. Hope you have a great week, and I shall see you next time. Bye-bye.